Hi there, Valerie Shodine here to show you the mid-century modern circle pattern stencil. So here it is, and I'm going to put it down in my 8.5 by 12-inch journal here. I'm going to stencil with watercolor, and I spritzed it, misted it with water, and now I'm testing the sponge out. I have just the right amount of water on this sponge. What I found is you can actually just wipe the color onto the stencil with watercolor and a sponge if your sponge is not too wet or you don't have too much paint on the sponge. It's also if your sponge is not too dry. So it takes a little bit of practice, but once you get it, it's so incredibly easy to stencil with watercolor, especially on plain paper like this. Now you'll notice I already have colors on my sponges, and that's because I've been painting this in another video in this journal where I stenciled the mask version of this mid-century modern circle patterns mask number L882 on the page with teal, and then I fill in some of the spaces of the patterns with this stencil. So the great part about this stencil is it can be used totally on its own and totally versatile, and you can mix and match and pick which patterns you want, or I should say, and if you have the mask version, you can also layer patterns and colors from this stencil on top of that mask as well. So it's really a versatile stencil, and I'm just showing a few things that you can do here, but there are many more. As you see here, I've stenciled these patterns randomly on the page, and I can put them wherever I wish, of course, as you can too. And I can mix and match them in different ways as well. Random tip here, I'm using a baby wipe to pick up some of my smudged watercolor that ended up on my mixed media page. Here's my finished page. I really like it. It makes me happy to see both of these pages done, all done with this stencil and a bit of spattering with paint and a toothbrush. Now here's a Dutch door page I made in my A5 journal. And so I stenciled it just like I did the rest of them that you just saw, and now I'm going in with that little circle that's also on the stencil and stenciling gold dots right around the edge there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use an alphabet stencil, also on my page at Stencil Girl Products, to write the word shine, or I should say stencil the word shine in the middle. Right now, as you see, I'm cutting around the edges for a Dutch door page in my journal, and I do this a lot. It's kind of a nice variation of the normal page. And look, it's pretty easy just with the stencils, and there it is, shine. And thank you for joining me for this little video tutorial. I hope you're inspired, and check out the stencils at stencilgirlproducts.com. And for more inspiration, visit my blog and website at valerieshodine.com.